Welcome back to another performance update where we will review the changes in portfolio quality and portfolio growth across some of the most popular P2P lending platforms in Europe. We will also cover the latest news so you can adjust your investment strategy accordingly. As always, nothing in this video is investor advice. The P2P lending industry is changing rapidly, and if you don't monitor the events surrounding your platforms, you might lose your money. As of mid-June, this is how the P2P lending industry is performing. With over 625 million euro of investors' funds invested in loans, Mentos remains the largest player in the market. The platform managed to increase its outstanding portfolio amount while slightly reducing its funds in recovery, which include pending payments and funds from suspended lenders. For more details, you can review the overdue amounts from individual lending companies directly in your dashboard. By clicking on the lender, you can also read the news about the recovery efforts in chronological order. This is particularly useful for investors whose funds are still in the recovery stage. Unfortunately, this information is not available for non-registered users. The funds in recovery on Mentos decreased from around 135 million euro in January to about 128 million euro in June, indicating that it is going in the right direction. Yet with 128 million euro of investors' funds locked in defaulted lenders, Mentos is not ranking among the best P2P lending platforms in terms of portfolio quality. And neither does Estate Guru, with currently 137 million euro of funds in recovery. Over the past month, we have observed a slight improvement in portfolio quality in active markets. Unfortunately, there has been no recovery in non-active markets, which include Finland and Germany. The platform announced a new product last month called EG Grow, which may seem like a copycat of Bondora's Go and Grow without the liquidity aspect. Estate Guru promotes a 7% annual interest rate with monthly interest payouts and real estate as collateral. This looks a lot like a predefined auto-invest strategy with lower interest rates and no option of an early exit. The product comes with a contingency fund which should cover the interest rates if the borrower does not make timely payments. At the same time, Estate Guru does not guarantee that there are sufficient funds in the contingency fund to make EG Grow interest payments to all investors who are eligible for payments. Additionally, this fund does not cover the principal. For anyone interested in this product, I highly recommend reading the terms and conditions to fully understand this service. Moving on to PeerBerry, which is currently the best performing P2P lending platform on the market. This means that the demand from investors continues to exceed the current loan supply. Additionally, the CEO of the Aventus Group, whom we had interviewed previously, shared his business plans for the future, which may not align with some of the investors' expectations. He shared that the Aventus Group companies are well capitalized, meaning they can fund a large portion of their portfolio from retained earnings, rather than relying on funding from PeerBerry. Additionally, many lenders have matured in their markets, meaning the growth pace has slowed down and hence the need for funding has decreased. If you've been following this channel for a while, you have likely heard me talking about the fact that every market has its limits when it comes to loan issuance. In P2P lending, it's natural that profitable lenders may at some point exit P2P funding altogether. It's unlikely that the company that you lend money to today will still be borrowing money from you in 10 years. The CEO mentioned that the supply of short-term loans may decrease in favor of long-term or real estate loans from new markets such as Spain. He also mentioned that the company's focus lies on business development in countries with low geopolitical risks, which is something most investors appreciate. While this may not be the best news for investors who cannot get their funds invested on PeerBerry, the matter of sustainability has always been a key topic for this platform and its business partners. Luckily for you, there are plenty of other platforms with decent portfolio quality and perhaps higher loan availability that you can explore. On Robocash, we saw a slight increase in the outstanding portfolio amount. Last month, the platform announced that the lending license from its lender Digido in the Philippines has been revoked amid Digido's setup of 4 exhibit booths in 2021. The platform informed registered investors that the lender filed a motion for reconsideration. Digido continues to operate as the order is not final. So far, the loans from Digido have not been suspended from Robocash, nor have any investors reported any disruption in repayments. Currently, approximately 18% of the outstanding portfolio is allocated to loans from this lender. This equals approximately 13.5 million euro. Since the group's financials for 2024 are not yet public at the time of recording, we cannot confirm whether in the scenario where this lender is forced to halt its operations, the Una Financial Group could actually cover all liabilities to investors. To be on the safe side, investors can avoid investing in those loans or simply sell their loans on the secondary market until the situation is resolved. Moving on to Esketit, which is another platform with a very solid track record and excellent portfolio quality. Recently, the platform announced announced that one of its most popular lending partners, Avafin, decided to exit P2P lending and repay all loans to investors. Avafin, formerly known as Cream Finance, was one of the first lenders listing loans on Esketit when the platform was launched in 2020. The founders of Esketit also founded Cream Finance, so there was a strong connection between the two businesses from the outset. As Capitec, a South African bank, acquired the lending group, the funding requirements changed, and now they no longer need to use P2P lending to fund their portfolio. While this may be frustrating for investors who relied on the solid performance of Avafin loans, there is not much you can do apart from researching the remaining opportunities on Esketit to see if they fit your investment strategy. At the time of recording, you have the option to invest in loans from Credus Capital, which offers mortgage-backed loans, Mojo Capital, which provides funding for fintech startups, and GMD Investments, which is essentially a business loan for money for finance in Jordan. You can also invest in Spanda Capital, which buys defaulted loans in Spain at a discounted rate. To learn more about Spanda Capital, you can watch this video where we cover the business behind the lender. Indemo continues to perform nicely with stable growth and reasonable expansion into new regions. Swapper also continues to share monthly performance updates. The platform has recently shared a Q1 report for its business partner Bantu Finance, which highlights some of the key financial metrics. Fintan also continues to grow steadily. The platform offers plenty of investment opportunities with the option to invest in the final stages for the already operational rental property in Chicheni. They also offer a 13% yield on a mortgage-backed loan, which is high compared to some of the competitors on the market. Additionally, they recently shared a video update covering the main highlights from the first quarter of this year and plans for the future. Particularly interesting were the occupancy rates for its rental units during the low season in Prague, as well as the key updates to the rooms in Smíchov or Karlin, which I had the chance to visit during my trip last summer. Fintan continues to address questions from the community, which ultimately increases the transparency and improves its track record. Indemo also continues to grow. Recently, they announced the repayment of another debt. The return on investment in investors' portfolios ranged from 15% up to 34% per year, with an annual average rated return of 17.78%. They also continue to run various cashback offers, which you can learn more about on P2P Empire. Nectaro grew its portfolio as well. Currently, they are managing more than 8 million euro of investors' funds. The company also launched a promotional campaign where they offer a 0.29% additional interest rate for users who use their Auto-Invest tool. That's a clever marketing campaign to address the recently introduced fee on Auto-Invest portfolios on Mentos. Noninvest is the last platform on our list that reports a 0% default rate. Moving on to income, which also increased its portfolio amount last month. The funds in the buyback initiated category represent 2.27% of their outstanding portfolio. CrowdPeer has improved its portfolio quality by reducing the funds in recovery. The platform also updated its statistics page, which gives you even more insights into the diversification of CrowdPeer's portfolio. Capitale and Lande are two more platforms that improved their portfolio quality last month. Lande also shared its financials, which you can review in our newsfeed on P2P Empire. Although slowly, Twina continues to repay defaulted loans in Vietnam and Russia. The CEO recently announced that the platform will be exiting its rental projects due to the underwhelming performance. The increased transparency by the new CEO is certainly appreciated. For investors, it's also a good lesson to realize that companies that try to do a lot of different things may not excel at anything, which can put your money at risk. This is evident across the entire industry, and experienced investors certainly take this into account during the initial due diligence. Over the last month, we have noticed some improvements in transparency on Bondora and Monefit. Bondora has recently shared its default rates and the extent to which it relies on funding from investors. Having a better understanding of a lender's capital structure is always a good thing for investors. We are also in discussion with Monefit to bring you additional information about the current state of the platform and credit star. As soon as we receive all the answers, you will be able to find them in our review on P2P Empire. So those were the highlights from last month. Based on my observations, I believe that the majority of platforms have shown improvements in portfolio quality and transparency, which is a positive sign for the investor community. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button and subscribe to not miss out on future updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.